Hello and welcome back to Subnautica. In the last couple of episodes, what I've been doing is to go out and explore wrecks and life pods because I was looking for more blueprints. One of the blueprints we found was the propulsion cannon, which is something I need to go and use when I explore the Aurora. So we've learned the blueprint, and that needs a wiring kit, battery and titanium. So I'll make that now because I want to head over to the Aurora. There are some radio messages, but I'll pick those up later. I also picked up the blueprint for the modification station, which I've built here. That allows us to build a thermoblade. We can now build a ultra high capacity tank, these ultra glide fins. We've got an upgrade we can do for the Cyclops, but we don't have the Cyclops yet. Oh well, alright, okay. We haven't actually found the fragments for that yet, so that's okay then. We've got some depth modules we can learn to improve the Seamoth. This seemed okay because we know how to build, well, we know where to get the rubies. So plasteel ingot and enamel glass, okay. And then there's an upgrade that we've got for the prawn suit, but I haven't found the prawn suit fragments yet. So one thing I've done is I've emptied my inventory a bit here because I've got to go over to the Aurora, and there's going to be a lot of things we can pick up there, so I don't want to take too much over. But before I do go over, I just wanted to mention that I went over to the floating island whilst I was off camera to collect a load of plants there. So I've picked up a variety of things like the lantern tree, Chinese potato plant, the bulbo tree, and the small marble melons. I've gone for this variety because I found in the past where I know in the early game you used to be able to eat these lantern fruit the lantern fruit from the tree here, and basically didn't need anything else. But I think they've curbed what you can get out of these fruits, and I think if you eat too many of them, it does actually make you ill. So I've deliberately gone out and getting a bit of a variety here. Now, one thing I've been doing is I've been filling these planters, so they're all pretty much the same. So what I do though is I'll actually plant them in a certain order, because I like to have the marble melons close to the front. When you go to collect these marble melons, what you can do is you can pick up 3 of them and eat them, and then you can just basically harvest the 4th one with a knife, and it'll give you 4 seeds. The problem is that I've found is if it's near the back, sometimes you might glitch a bit on these planters. You might get stuck against the wall or against the actual tree. So for instance, I can't get past the bulbo tree. I'm not going to be able to get past that lantern tree once it grows any higher. I mean, that's in the way as well. So it's easier to just basically have these at the front so that they're all in easy reach. So there's an order to plant them. So what I tend to do is, like, the first one goes into the top left corner, the second one into the bottom left, the third thing you plant goes into the bottom right, and then the last one goes into the top right. So just select the planter there. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the lantern fruit in, then the Chinese potato plant. Now you can't tell the order, at least I can't from that. So it's just been pretty much like trial and error. But I'll put these in, and you more or less can just about make out that there's a lantern tree up there, bulbo tree up there. You can almost make out the marble melons there, and there's a little Chinese potato plant growing there. I'll just harvest these a bit just to get a bit more food and water. And that's a good thing about these plants, is you can get food and water out of them. You can also use them as fuel for the bioreactor, which I've got upstairs. So it doesn't just have to be like fish or like the creepvine clusters that you find out there. I mean, I'm running on about 800 power so far, which is pretty good. One thing to bear in mind though, when you harvest these things, is if your inventory is full, you actually lose that item. It doesn't like fall to the floor, it just disappears. So it's something to bear in mind when you start picking the marble melons up, but especially if you're going to harvest one and create seeds, is that you could lose them all if your inventory's full. But it's all pretty straightforward to just harvest the fruit off the tree, harvest the potato seeds over there, the marble melon seeds, and the cuttings of one of those bulbo trees. What happens with these three, the bulbo tree, the lantern tree, and the Chinese potato, is when you take the last item off the plant, it disappears. The plant disappears, so you'll want to replant that. In the case of the marble melon, as I say, you can eat 3 of them, and then just harvest that fourth one. It gives you the 4 seeds, then you can just replant them. So it gives you a nice self-sustained source of food and water. And the good thing is you can even put these planters on the Cyclops as well. So that's good for when you're away from the base for quite a while. So we've built our propulsion cannon. What I want to do is now head over to the Aurora. I mean, I'm just going to leave those messages. What I'm going to have to do is go get the sea moth over here. I don't want to go anywhere near those Leviathans, because I haven't put any upgrades on this yet other than the depth module.
Welcome aboard, Cap Systems Online.
I very much doubt we'd last long against a Leviathan with just this. It'll just grab a hold of it and rip it to pieces. I'm just going over here because I want to pick up there's a fire extinguisher. As you'll find out, there are fires on board the Aurora, so it's I like to take this one over. There are ones you'll find there, but I prefer to have more, to be honest. One of the other places we went to was to the Degasi base, and I picked up some logs which I haven't played back yet, so I want to play these ones by Bart. I'm just going to play the first 2 because I don't want to touch that one until later in the game. But I'll play this one here, which is by Bart Torgal.
I thought it might get claustrophobic living underwater. Father feels it is. He'd tell me it was childish, but I stare out the window and sometimes I think how lucky I am to see this world up close. Back on the island, I wouldn't have believed the creatures that live down here. The fish, they glow. There's one that's 90% eyeball. Snakes twice the length of a habitat compartment. Certainly, it's not all friendly. Most of the plant life is toxic. I learned that the hard way. But I've managed to coax some marble melons into growing indoors. And when they don't cover our dietary needs, well, we eat the fish themselves. It's a bit gross, but it's nothing they wouldn't do. I've been attempting to document my findings. Father approves. He says understanding is power, that the more we know about this planet, the more we can use it to our advantage. I'm just doing it because it's fun. It's not easy without proper equipment and network access, but the old-fashioned way, observing, taking notes, testing theories, shows me the world in a way a spectroscopic analysis never could. Lately I've been watching the crab snakes. They ambush their prey as it tries to feed on the mushrooms they hide in. What they don't eat settles on the seabed, which fertilizes the mushrooms, which feeds the herbivores, and so the chain continues. Co-evolution gives me the fuzzies.
Okay, and then there's the second one, which is about some stalker teeth.
Something incredible just happened. Since we're down here, I had this plan to build equipment and study the life forms we were encountering, but I didn't have enough enameled glass. So, I started looking for a natural substrate that would strengthen the glass we have, and those stalker teeth we've been finding fit the bill. Only, well, we needed more. That's when Marguerite got interested. She actually listened to me, more than I can say for Father, and I worked up the courage to talk about my more tentative theories. When I told her they were attracted to metal deposits, that their teeth get dislodged when they pick them up, her eyes narrowed and she dashed out of the room. 3 hours later, she came back, her pack loaded down with stalker teeth. I asked her about it. She shrugged and said my theories were good. Said she had the meeting out of the palm of her hand. I think she meant it literally. She is incredible. She went out to the kelp forest armed with just a heat blade and went fin to fin with a pack of stalkers. On the one hand, that is the coolest thing I have ever heard. On the other, well, I hope the stalkers didn't come off worse than Marguerite did. She had a huge gash on her forearm. I don't think things went as smoothly as she made out. And what's the point in surviving here if we have to kill everything that makes it so wonderful? I wish I knew more about these animals, but Father won't let me leave the habitat. Maybe with all this glass, we could build a containment unit and get up close to them.
Life form readings in this region are sparse. The Aurora's radioactive fallout will have devastating effects on the alien ecosystem if not contained within the next 24 hours.
Okay, so we had that played back by Bart, and that's how we've learned the blueprint for enameled glass, and the yeah, I must have picked that up when I learned the found lithium, but that's how we've got the enameled glass. It needs stalker tooth and a piece of glass. I think you'll get the same if you just pick up a piece of stalker tooth. You'll learn the blueprint that way as well, I believe. Now what I did is I pretty much tried to hug the side of the ship here and come into the shallows, because the last time I was over here I was trying to get over to life pod 12, but I spotted one of those Reaper Leviathans, so I've just basically edged my way into here from the side, because I'm pretty sure that Leviathan will still be out there somewhere. So just jump out here. Now there was another recording about a problem with radiation, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to head a bit further along over to this part over here. I think it was here. Yeah. There are actually two ways to get into the Aurora that I know of. So if we come up here, there's an entrance over there, and there's an entrance if you follow this way up.
Structural integrity is low.
So I'm
Fire
going to
suppression equipment and laser cutters may be required. Exploration is conducted at your own risk.
So I'm going to come in this way, try and dodge these crabs if I can. And along the way there's various crates, and they'll have all sorts of things. You might find batteries, you might find water, medical kits for instance. Okay, so we've got some water. I mean, you can actually pick these crabs up. Oh. Trouble is, these propulsion cannons, they use up the power pretty quickly. But what you can do is you can actually pick things up, like these crabs for instance. You can just throw them away.
Caution. Scans show the digestive tracts of nearby life forms contain human tissues.
So you can see, I mean, I haven't really done much, but I'm down to about 89% power already. But as I mentioned before, if you want an easy supply of batteries, just come over to the Aurora. There's plenty of batteries on here, so I won't have much trouble like replacing the power on this as I go along. There's not that many places I'll need it, but it's useful to have anyway, because we're going to get to a point where there's like a blockage and we need to clear the area a bit. Let's see what's in this one. Oh, more water. got to be a bit careful around here. It's not as bad as it was early on in the game when it was being made, where you've got this like molten metal falling down from the ceiling. It's not as bad as the last time I played the game anyway. Now I'll just pick up this fire extinguisher. As I say, there are fires that you need to put out. Now, what I tend to do is if I don't need to put it out, I'll just ignore it. But when you do need to put one out, if it's blocking the way, you have to make sure you really put the fire out, make sure every part's extinguished.
Aurora systems are running on local reserve power, unable to remotely download black box data. Integrating new PDA data.
Exiting sleep mode. Loading voice recognition. Engineer Barclay and Chief Technology Officer you identified.
Drone, get me a propulsion cannon.
Repulsion cannon retrieved.
Hey, Berkeley. Install that circuit box with that repulsion cannon and you'll punch a hole in the cargo bay.
Damn it, Drone, I said propulsion, not repulsion.
Yeah.
Recalibrate sensors.
Sensors recalibrated.
Sensors aren't the problem. I tweaked the program. It's like you now. It doesn't like being told what to do.
Drone, I know...
His name's Albert now.
Albert, I know it's not your fault, but it would really help me do my job if you'd bring me what I asked for. Thanks for your time.
Propulsion cannon retrieved.
Thank you. Now go away.
Entering hibernation mode.
Boss, this hobby of yours isn't making my job any easier. Or safer.
Maybe so, but it's all that's stopping me from being so bored I take a spacewalk in my skivvies.
Okay, there's mention there about a repulsion cannon. So this one sort of attracts things. Let's see what we do with that. Yeah, this thing like grabs a hold of things, then you've got to throw them away. Then you've got a repulsion cannon as well, which we'll find later. Just see what this data download is.
Integrating new PDA data.
So this is just a bit of a history of the Aurora. Basically, like, it was on a mission to install a phase gate. Let's see what this PDA is.
Integrating new PDA data.
You can go through this, but the main thing here is there's a cargo bay code. So we've got an access code now to get into the cargo bay. So keep going along here. So there you go, cargo bay 3. It's blocked, the passageway is blocked a bit. I mean, you could really like jump over it if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna clear the way, to be honest. It's it makes it a bit easy for me. Don't think there was anything down there. Right, okay. And that's where we need the code, because that door's locked. Just see what's in this supply crate. Oh, another battery. Right, so the code was 1454.
Scans of damage to the Aurora do not match any known offensive technologies.
Now we can open that. That brings us into this cargo bay. And you want to be a bit careful of the molten metal that drops down. Just have a look along here. Don't recall seeing anything along here. And there is another crate. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there. Okay, so there's a way down here, and then there's a PDA here.
Integrating new PDA data.
Yeah, it's just a bit of verbiage that you might want to read. Okay, I'll go down here. There's nothing really in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in there. I'm just going to get my knife out because there are things in the water here. Scan them, it's a bleed, we're called bleeders. Really annoying if they grab a hold of you. And you've really got to make sure you, if if one of them grabs a hold of you, make sure you do definitely kill them. Okay, so that's 2 of the 3. Right, so there's one over there. Oh, there's another one there. Right, okay, so that's floating. So that looks as though that's definitely dead. Let's see if I can scan that. Yeah, looks like I can only scan it while it's alive. Oh, that's a pain. Right, so what we've got is there's a drive room up here. There's a Seamoth down there. The Seamoth bay, I should say, down there. And down there leads to the locker rooms and the prawn bay. Let's have a look at these crates to see what's here. There's a battery and another battery. Okay. I'll just head over to the Seamoth bay. I need to repair this door unit so we can open the door. If you come here early on in the game, then you can learn some interesting stuff like the Seamoth fragments. So this is another place where you can get the fragments then to build your Seamoth. But better still, there's a depth gauge here, depth module I should say. I mean, I've built mine already, so I don't really need it. But yeah, it's an easy way to get a Seamoth and to be able to get that 300-meter depth. There's a PDA here, which again, it's just verbiage. You can read that if you like. Now this is leading to the dry room, so I'm going to head along here. The trouble is, the graphics get a bit strange because even though we've hit the shallows.
Sustained internal damage during collision. Do not attempt repair without appropriate qualifications.
I mean, even though you've got like shallow water, I'm still sort of like swimming for some strange reason. So I get problems like that. I'm not like standing up or anything, so it's hard to see. It's very frustrating. Okay, so now I'm standing up. It's very odd. I'll pick that fire extinguisher up while I'm here. Right, so there's another module over here.
Warning, local radiation at maximum tolerable level. New blueprint acquired. So the computer mentioned that there was radiation leaking into the environment, and it's saying it needed to be fixed within like 24 hours. Basically, it's to do with this the core shielding. We've got it's been breached. So what we have to do is we have to repair these breaches. Containment breach repaired.
So
further breaches detected.
Fortunately, it tells you how many are still left to repair. Pretty easy to spot. You see the sparks coming off them.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
So next we'll have to go into the water here, but there's more of these annoying bleeders down there. So what I'll do is I'll just head for the core breaches while I'm down here. I'll just head to those first. I'll just deal with these bleeders if and when they start trying to get to me.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Yep, so it's just a matter of having a look where the sparks are more than anything.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Looks like there must be one up here. Yep, there's one up here.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected. Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Okay, there's another one over here it seems. Really surprised those bleeders haven't come to annoy me yet. Oh, spoke too soon. Come here. Annoying little thing. And once you kill one of them, it tends to attract the other ones. Yeah. Oh. I wonder if I must have already scanned one of these. Okay. I really want to get rid of them. Ah! Gotta get some health there. Oh! Just get rid of these annoying little creatures. Ah, right, so it is letting me scan this one. Oh, that's good. Ah, right, now that's because
data.
that one's been infected. Yeah, you can see the green luminous blood or something on it. Oh, gotta swim up and get some oxygen. I still think there's some other of these bleeders around. But for now I'll oh! Oh, annoying. Right, so is there another one? Right, anyway. Let's sort these right, so that's repaired.
Further breaches detected.
So we've got 4 left to go.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's 2 over there. I think there's one on that other column to the, behind me.
Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected. Containment breach repaired.
Yeah, I think there's
Further
one over here.
detected.
This is not as bad as the early game because the I'm not seeing any molten metal coming down and causing me damage. That used to be really really tough, so you needed quite a lot of medical kits, which is fortunately you do get them.
Drive core breach sealed. Radiation levels decreasing.
Okay, so I didn't realise how long it actually took me to search the all of the Aurora, and it took a lot longer than I anticipated. So what I've decided to do is to split the video into 2 sections. So I'm going to end the video here, and then what we'll do in the next video is we'll just carry on doing the rest of the search of the Aurora. So I do hope you've liked the video so far. If so, then I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like. If you want to see more content, then do please subscribe if you haven't done so already. So thanks very much for watching. Until next time, bye!